But now we are absolutely delighted to be joined by Leyton Orient captain Darren Pratley. Darren, third win on the bounce for the first time in 12 months. I'm not sure if you're aware, but that must feel really good in the dressing room.
Yeah, it's amazing what a month makes the difference. Since Richie's come in, the atmosphere around the place, the boys are playing with confidence, and we look like every time we're going to go forward, we're going to score a goal. So the place is buzzing as it was at the start of the season, and then like I said, everyone's happy, and you can see the fans are going away happy, which hasn't happened in a long while.
I was going to say, from an outsider's perspective as well, you look like you're playing with smiles on your faces. The clips from training, everyone's got smiles on their faces, and is that really the case?
Yeah, the atmosphere's changed. Everyone's confident. The gaffer's come in, he's a positive person. He wants us to go out and express ourselves from a good base, good structure, and everyone's enjoying it. The manager is not retired too long himself, so he's just come out of the game and he understands what the boys want. The boys want to be coached, and long may that continue.
And 2 starts for you since battling COVID, and 2 phenomenal performances. You probably don't know if you'd say so yourself, but 2 stellar performances. And how does it feel to be back out on the pitch there and leading the team?
Yeah, I don't think today was that great a performance from the whole team. I think we can play better, but sometimes when a team gets a new manager, you have to ride it out, and I think we've done that well. So we showed a different side to us. But yeah, obviously coming back from COVID, it wiped me out after the Stevenage game, or during the Stevenage game, to be honest. I was knackered, but the type of person I am, I try and play until I can't play or run anymore, and that wiped me out. And I've had a couple of days training, obviously come on in the game here a week or so ago, and played the other night, and I'm starting to feel fit again and enjoying what the manager wants. We've got a way of playing now, which everyone can see, and yeah, it's enjoyable to be part of.
You say that the players want to be coached in training. What is it that Richie's doing differently in the training ground?
He's given us a structure. Like, I think from the start of the season, from pre-season, we was building from the back. I believe we played Harrogate here, we lost, and we changed the style of play from that game. We didn't get away with it, but we got a couple of results going a bit longer into Harry Smith. Wasn't pretty to watch, wasn't the best to play in. But we did play football at the start, and then we changed our philosophy completely. And Richie's come in, and to be honest, since Matt come in, Matt and Brian, they deserve a lot of credit as well. They got us playing again with a bit of confidence and having a structure, a way of playing. And Richie's come in and narrowed that down, and he wants us to play. Like, there will be times like in the first half where we get caught on the ball, but I think the fans can see what we're trying to do, and sometimes you need that buy-in. Before, when the confidence was low, if we tried to play out and we've gone long and we got caught, it could be a bit of a bad atmosphere around the place, and the boys not hide, but you don't show as much for the ball. But when everyone's buying in, the whole club, there's a positive feel around the place. It's massive.
Yeah, we've been saying, well, for weeks, especially during that poor spell of the season, that we haven't become a bad team. We haven't been it's still pretty much the same team that got us into the playoff places at the start of the season. So you don't become like a bad team overnight. Is it just the fact that you've been allowed a little bit extra freedom, because still pretty much the same team that we started the season with, and strikers, forward players have been now look like they're scoring pretty much from every attack.
Yeah, freedom and confidence and a structure as well, knowing what each other are doing. There's probably games in that period where we'd go out and we probably wouldn't know what we was doing. We didn't know whether he's going to build from the back, was going to go long, and then you're in between, and then there's big gaps between all the units. So the gaffers come in and made sure the units are a bit more tighter between the back and the midfield and the strikers, and that gives you a platform to go on and play. And he's let the front boys go on and express themselves, and you can tell they're enjoying themselves. They're playing well and scoring goals, which is a bonus for us.
It must be. Going back to your point there, it must be quite confusing, I suppose, especially in your position. If the defence and attack are miles apart, you don't know whether or not you're staying or you're going. And now, what we've seen, especially from you in the last couple of games, you're there in attack and you're there in defence. You even made a couple of long busting runs to get in the box.
And to the naked eye and a normal fan, when you're watching a game, if the gaps are massive and there's a big hole in midfield and you can't quite get to that second ball, and it looks like you're off the pace, you can't run, you're slow, you can't get there. So having a manager who was a midfielder himself is probably a bonus for all us midfielders in there. Ethan, Hector, young Eildon boys, because he understands if the gaps are too big, you can't get close to someone, so you're in between, you're in no man's land. And you get away with it a few times. I think we got away with it a few times early on in the season. We played 3-4-3. Me and Craig were in the middle, and we can both get around the pitch, and we got away with it, just us two in there, and it was like a 4-2-4. You get away with that a few games, but it catches up on you, and we got caught up on us a few times.
And just to look at your teammates again, you've obviously got Hector alongside you, you've got Shad behind you, and Ruel up top, all young lads who have come out of the academy fairly recently. Wearing the armband yourself, what's that like playing with these young players who are putting smiles on the faces of all these Orient fans? It's so good to see.
It's great. I think they've got a good academy. I've coached the under 15s and 16s a couple of times, and there's players below them that are coming up as well. So I think Orient's always had good players, academy players coming through, and these boys, I believe, can play at a higher level. It's a shame that we're not quite going to do it this year, but with the new gaffer and his ideas, I believe that these boys will go on and be League One, Championship, and some of them maybe even Premier League players.
And the games have been relentless, of course, and they've all had a chance to show what they can do. And you've got another Tuesday night game coming up as well. All of them have been on the road of late as well. So how's that been as a squad? I haven't had much time on the training pitch with Richie, but also I'm guessing a lot of time on the coach to do some bonding. Yeah,
it's a lot easier when you're winning games, I'll tell you that, when you're travelling all around the country. But to be fair, like even since he's come in, like we have little quizzes on the way up to games, and after the game we look forward. We have a quiz. We're all together, the team, and not only the team that's playing, the boys that are not playing. If you watch us train, like you said on the videos and that, the boys are not quite played at the moment, keeping us on our toes. They're training well, and that's hard to do. I think the gaffer's come in and done that well, because it's all good the starting 11 being there and playing well, but when the other players are not, and it can be a bad atmosphere, especially when you're losing games and you get in your little cliques and you start talking, it can become a bad atmosphere. But Richie's seemed to have got that right blend. Same with Matty and Brian when they come in, and it's a good place to be at the moment.
Well, it's certainly a good thing for all of us fans to hear that, and thank you so much.
Who's winning the quizzes? Who's the genius of the group?
Lawrence,
say yourself.
No, I was second, to be fair, but Lawrence is quite clever, and Theo Archibald is. You probably heard him when he speaks and he does his interviews. He says some words that most of us don't even understand. But Harry Smith's the quiz master, and we all have a go. So that's good.
We'll enjoy the quiz on the coach up to Oldham, and we're going to watch that goal of the season one more time while we bring Glenn back in. But thank you so much for joining us,
Cheers,
Darren. Enjoy your celebrations.